Good morning, children. Welcome all of you to the English class. Today I am present with the first lesson of your supplementary reader. That is the third level by Jack Finney. So first of all, we should know about the author in brief. Jack Finney was an American author. He was mainly interested in writing science fiction and thrillers. His two famous works are The Body Snatchers and Time and Again. His book The Body Snatchers later became hugely popular film. Now about the story. So first of all, the main characters of the story. The main characters of the story, the third level, are Charlie, Sam Winner and Louisa. Charlie, very important character. The story revolves around Charlie. He is the narrator also. He is 30 years old, living in New York. He collects stamps. And then Sam Winner. Sam Winner is Charlie's friend and psychiatrist also. Then Louisa, Charlie's wife. Now the background of the story. Charlie is a simple guy. He is 30 years old. He lives in New York. He claims to have been on the third level of Grand Central Station of New York. Level means here floor. But no one believes him. His friend Sam, who is a psychiatrist, says that it is merely his daydream. Means he went to the third level in his dream only, in his imagination only. It was not his reality. Now let's see the text. The presidents of the New York Central and the New York, New Haven and Hartford railroads will swear on a stack of timetables that there are only two. The president means here authorities. Here New York Central. This is the name of the main railway station of New York. Then New York, New Haven and Hartford. These all are the names of railway stations of New York. Here the writer says that whether it was the main railway station of New York or other railway stations of New York. But the authorities of all those railway stations claimed only one thing, had to say only one thing, that Grand Central Railway Station had only two floors. The authorities of these railway stations had to say that Grand Central Railway Station had only two levels, had only two stories, had only two floors. But I say there are three. But I say, who is I? The narrator, Charlie. But Charlie claims that there are three levels at the Grand Central Station. Means there are 3 floors at the Grand Central Station. on the third level of the Grand Central Station. Why does he say? He says it with certainty. He says because he had been there. He had gone there. He had gone on the third level of Grand Central Station. That's why he said that there were 3 levels. But all the authorities had to say, had to claim that there were only 2 levels. Yes, I have taken the obvious step. He remembered. He was confirmed. He was sure. Charlie said that he had taken his step there. He had put his step there. He well remembers that he had gone there. I talked to a psychiatrist friend of mine, among others. I told him about the third level at Grand Central Station, and he said it was a waking dream wish fulfillment. He consulted his friend, who is psychiatrist, and his other friends also. He told his other friends also, and he told his friend who was psychiatrist also, that he had gone to the third level of Grand Central Station. But his friend also didn't believe. His friend told that it was his daydream, that in your imagination you had gone there, not in a real sense. He said I was unhappy. That made my wife kind of mad. His friend told, his friend who was a psychiatrist told that actually he always used to be unhappy. He always used to be sad. He means who? The narrator, Charlie. His friend Sam told that as the narrator, Charlie always used to be unhappy, always used to be sad. That's why maybe in his imagination he had gone to such a place which was full of happiness, where there was peace. But when his friend told that he was unhappy, he was sad, for some time his wife became mad. His wife thought that what happened to him? Why was Charlie sad? What was the reason? If there was some problem in their married life, his wife was bound to think all this. When she heard that Charlie was sad. But he explained that he meant the modern world is full of insecurity, fear, war, worry, and all the rest of it. But soon his friend made it clear. But soon his friend psychiatrist Sam explained that no, he was unhappy because the modern world is full of tension, fear, worries. There is no peace in this modern world, and that's why Charlie wanted to escape from the modern world. Charlie wanted to escape from the reality. Charlie took shelter in his imagination, where he found peace, where he found happiness. Well, and that I just want to escape. Well, who doesn't? Everybody I know wants to escape, but they don't wander down into any third level at Grand Central Station. Now Charlie says to himself, Charlie thinks to himself, Charlie says that who doesn't want? Everyone wants to escape from such life which is full of tension, care, anxiety. Everybody wants to escape from such world which is full of tension and anxieties. But the only difference is that all want, But no one had gone on the third level of Grand Central Station. It was only he who had gone to the third level of Grand Central Station, and this was the cause of his problem. But that's the reason, he said, and my friends all agreed. That was the reason. What was the reason? That he used to say that he had gone to Grand Central Station. And according to the authorities, there was no third level of Grand Central Station. But Charlie told that he had visited the third level of Grand Central Station. So this was the cause of anxiety for everyone. So that's why all thought that something happened to Charlie. That's why Charlie was taken to his friend who was psychiatrist. Everything points to it, they claimed. My stamp collecting, for example, that's a temporary refuge from reality. Well, maybe, but my grandfather didn't need any refuge from reality. Charlie did such kind of things which led to his friends come to the conclusion that Charlie was in daydream. Charlie had never visited the third level of Grand Central Station. It was merely his dream. So several such activities were done by Charlie, and one of them, for example, here it is given, that was his hobby of stamp collection. He used to collect stamps. So his friends and his psychiatrist friend Sam all thought that it was merely imagination of Charlie. There was no third level. My stamp collecting, for example, that's a temporary refuge from reality. R-E-F-U-G, refuge. Refuge means shelter. So when he used to collect stamps, then in this way, he took temporary refuge, temporary shelter in the past. For some time he stayed in the past. For some time he was connected with the past. For some time he forgot the present. So his stamp collection habit, so his hobby of collecting stamps was one of the examples of his escaping tendency from the present situation, from the present world. Well, maybe, but my grandfather didn't need any refuge from reality. Things were pretty nice and peaceful in his day, from all I hear. He says that his grandfather didn't need to take refuge in the past. His grandfather didn't think about past. He didn't go in the past as he used to do. Why? Because in his grandfather's time, everything was peaceful. Nobody had worry, anxiety, cares. Their lives went peacefully, smoothly. So his grandfather didn't need to take any refuge in the past. His grandfather was not lost in the past. He lived in the present. How did he know that in his grandfather's time everything was good? Everything was going smoothly. There was no tension, no anxiety. From all I hear, he had heard from the people, from his grandfather. So he thought that his grandfather's time was a very nice time, pleasant time. And he started my collection, and it was his grandfather who made him collect the stamps. It's a nice collection too. Blocks of 4 of practically every US issue first day covers. And he says that he had collected so many stamps. He had good collection of stamps. 4 blocks, 4 parts of every stamp which was issued in America, he had collected. 4 parts of all those stamps which were issued in America, he had collected. And moreover, he had also collected first day covers. Now children, what is first day cover? The question may be asked, what is first day cover? Children, when some new stamps are issued, then the collectors of stamps buy some stamps and they use those stamps to send envelopes to themselves. They use those stamps on the envelopes and send those envelopes to themselves on the very first day when the stamps are issued. This is called first day cover. So what is first day cover? When a stamp collector buys a new issued stamp and uses that stamp on the envelope and sends the envelope to himself, this is called first day cover. So he had a nice collection of stamps and first day covers. And he said that was not a bad hobby, because even the President of America, Roosevelt, used to collect stamps. Roosevelt, who was Roosevelt? The President of America. You have also read about Roosevelt in your lesson Deepwater. He was the friend of the writer William Douglas, an advisor. So he also used to collect stamps. So Charlie says that this is not bad hobby. So children, that's all for today. Thank you.